everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Me Slappin Kpop podcast. I am Kayla, and with me here today is Lucas
Hello.
and Sammy.
Hi.
And the three of us are going to be here today doing a preview of the groups that are going to be on Road to Kingdom. And what we're going to be talking about is just sort of the groups as a whole and what our expectations are for them and how we think they're going to do on the show. And also, we're going to be talking about the two different teaser clips that have been released at this point and our opinions on them and what we think that sort of means for them and their future on Road to Kingdom. And so, to get that started, the first group we are going to talk about is Pentagon. So Pentagon is the oldest group who's going to be on Road to Kingdom. They debuted in 2016 under Cube Entertainment. Other groups in Cube are Beast, 4 Minute, Hyuna, formerly CLC, and G-Idol. So there were 10 members of Pentagon, and then Edon left due to a dating scandal, quotation marks, with Hyuna. And there's going to be 8 members who are actually on Road to Kingdom because Yanan has been on hiatus for health issues for quite a while now. Other notable survival and variety shows that Pentagon has done is that they had a pre-debut survival show called Pentagon Maker, which is how the group was formed. And one of the notable things about that is that Edon, Shinwon, and Yanan actually failed to meet the requirements that their debut show had placed out for them. But the rest of the members of the group actually decided to go to Cube and get them to delay their debut in order to debut with all 10 of the members from the show, which they ended up doing, which was actually really cool. And some other notable accomplishments from the other members is that Hongsuk participated in the YG survival show Mix and Match and almost ended up a member of Icon. And then Jinho was a pretty notable former SM trainee and was in the SM The Ballad subunit thing while he was still a trainee there. And then Hui and Edon were in the unit group Triple H with Hyuna. Edon obviously has left Cube and Pentagon at this point and is now at P Nation with Hyuna, and they're still together, which is adorable. And just to go over a few notable songs from them, Gorilla was their debut song, and then some of my other favorites from them include Like This, Shine, and Dr. Bebe, which is their most recent song. And if you're interested in looking into some of their title tracks, or not their title tracks, their B-sides, I would recommend Happiness, Worship You, Spring Snow, Off-Road, Pretty Pretty, and Thumbs Up. So yeah, just a quick review of Pentagon. And I feel like me and Sammy definitely have a lot of opinions on them when it comes to the two different performance clips that they have already released. We have a lot of opinions about them.
I have less opinions.
Okay.
But...
To start this,
Lucas
has less opinions.
Me and Sammy have a lot of opinions.
This is going to be an
Lucas
moment.
Look, to start, I love Pentagon.
We both love
we
Pentagon.
Both love Pentagon.
Pentagon is one of my top 10 favorite K-pop groups. And I think it's because we like them so much that we have such high expectations for them.
And it's not so much high expectations as it is I both have expectations and I know they can meet those expectations. And also I want them to do well because I think that in terms of every single group that's on Road to Kingdom, I think that they are the closest one to, you could argue they should be on regular Kingdom. That they don't even need this show. But I think that Pentagon has the most to lose and the most to get. It's this weird situation where I think Pentagon is both almost too big and yet not it's this I have conflicted emotions about this about them being on this show.
Yeah, they've already had a bunch of semi-viral hits. Obviously Shine did amazing when it came out.
Shine should have given them a music show win, but it went viral just way too late after they did all their promotions already.
But not so far after that they could redo promotions. That was it's the perfect time where
really
they bam.
It was really bad timing.
Yeah, it's super unfortunate. And that was the way I heard about them was Shine. It was just oh, what are these groups? Oh, they're really cute. And then I listened to them and whoa, these guys are super talented, and that's what made me want to listen to them more.
And I think that they just have a good all-around discography. They do they can do the fun and silly with Shine. They can do like the serious and sentimental with Like This, which is my favorite of their title tracks. They've now gone with the darker title track like Dr. Bebe. So like they've already proven that they can do all of these different
Mhm.
like like types of
Yeah,
concepts.
they're super versatile.
They're
Yeah,
very versatile.
they've really gone through like the full range of like possible boy group concepts with their songs.
And I think there was always like, and then you obviously had the whole Hyuna and Edon situation, which also brought them a lot of notoriety. But I
Mhm.
also think like it's a 50-50 situation of like it was notoriety, but it ended it so with Cube
Cube
handling that
handled that
situation so poorly.
as poorly as they could have handled that
I don't think
situation.
there's a worse situation that they could have handled it.
Yeah.
But I think Pentagon bounced back from it. They're doing well, but I think it
Mhm.
also put a halt to their momentum because it was like you had the viral hit of Shine, and
Mhm.
then it was like a truck hit a wall, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh shit, now everything is like then it sort of like halted the momentum, and now they had to start like gaining it back.
Right. And then
But
like they came back with Naughty Boy after Shine, which is still very much in like the same genre of like music that Shine was, but it just wasn't quite good enough because it was a little bit almost like too cute for the general public to
and in a
like.
way, I think that especially with a member like Edon who was such a presence on their songs, because you even if you didn't know any member of Pentagon, you could
Mhm.
tell which one was Edon. He has a
Yeah.
very unique voice. He's a very unique presence on those songs. Like you could
Mhm.
tell you know who Edon is. Even if you don't know anybody else, you knew
Mhm.
Edon. So,
Yep.
like, I think after a group loses a central member like that, and even like I see this in other groups. I mean, you can see it with groups like, not to name names, but to name names. Icon. You see it with even I saw it a little bit with Stray Kids. I saw it a little bit with like any group where right after they lose a member that was a presence, that
Mhm.
first comeback is always a little bit weird because it was like that you can tell that they prepared the comeback with that member, or they were at least like preparing the songs with that member still there, and then you kind of have to like turn around and it's like
Yeah.
this and that, and like Stray Kids and Icon are just the two examples that come to my head right now. But like
Mhm.
you can tell it with any group that loses a member or a member goes on hiatus or whatever, like it's a weird scramble, and then usually it's the next comeback where they kind of get back to it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but
Yes.
definitely going into Kingdom, I see them as like the biggest like fan like presence there.
I would say them and maybe the
The
boys.
boys, I
Probably.
The
think
boys
the
is
boys
very
are very
popular,
popular, especially in Korea. The boys are
especially
Yeah,
very
yeah.
I would say
popular.
that probably
But like in
Pentagon has a
terms
bigger
of
international than the
yeah,
rest of
in
the
Yeah,
groups.
terms of
Pentagon has bigger
international,
international.
and I think in terms of expectations,
Hmm.
Yeah,
because it's
because
just
with
they're
Hui
cute.
being yeah, with Hui being like self producer of a lot of their songs, I think having like a member like that who can essentially just self produce all their songs and their concepts, it helps them a lot, and it
Hmm.
also gives them a bigger amount of diversity for like what they can actually do because they don't have to wait for someone else to figure it out for them. Like they can do it themselves. But I also think that having that does set the expectation bar a little bit higher for them too.
Yeah, but
The other thing I think is just like they're not from this like no name company.
mhm.
They're not rookies. They're
Mm-hmm.
not like they have a fan base, a big enough fan base that this is like, weird because Road to Kingdom, and this is just my opinion of what this show will be before it airs, but what it seems like is this show seems like it's gonna almost be more of a competition than Queendom was. Because Queendom, it seemed like a fun romp. Like
Yeah.
all these girls had it, like all these groups had established fan bases. They had established like concepts. They were established groups with a certain level of success,
Mm-hmm.
all of like varying levels. Obviously I didn't like they weren't all on the same level of success, but they
Right.
were all pretty successful groups. Road to Kingdom is just groups battling. It seems almost like they're groups battling for attention that they kind of it's a cutthroat industry. There's groups debuting every day. You need attention to continue on.
Yeah. The stakes for this show are definitely going to be much higher than they ever were for Queendom.
Yeah,
Also, at the end of this, we are also going to I don't think we mentioned this in the intro. We have kind of had this conversation about sort of putting essentially putting one group on Road to Kingdom with their Queendom counterpart.
Yes,
So
we
we are
have
going to
definitely talked about
and we're
this.
going to talk about our reasoning for why this group is this group, why
Mhm.
they equate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we want to start getting into Pentagon and our opinions on their two teaser performance clips that we've seen, oh
I have
man,
opinion.
Sammy and I have
Can
very
I
To
similar
can I
start.
can
opinions
I
on
can I
this. So,
recap it before you get like
sure,
okay.
go
Sure.
ahead.
So the first one was Shine, right? They did a performance.
That
Yep.
like Bizarro World shine.
Yeah,
Bizarro Shine, yes.
which
Bizarro World
was
shine.
which I'll say I did not hate. I thought it was because they come off of Dr. Bebe, right? They have the super dark concept, and everyone's like, oh, what are they gonna do? Oh, they're doing Shine, huh? That's not what I've recently heard from them, and they tried to put a fun twist on it. Now, execution may not have been perfect, but the concept I really did appreciate. I thought it was them trying to capitalize on their most recent sound and saying, hey, we have this new sound and let's try and mix up our most popular release with our sound that we already have and give a dark twist to like make you curious about what's going to happen. I appreciated it. I
So
don't
my
think they
opinion
did the
on that is
best job
they
at it, but it was still
no.
I liked it.
They didn't.
I
I
feel
think
like
the execution was poor.
if they were gonna do this dark concept, they should have just done Dr. Bebe.
I think
There's
they might still do
absolutely
Dr. Bebe. I think
there's
this might
yeah,
be
there's no reason for them to use Shine for this concept. I guess that they're doing it for the shock factor, but other than that, the actual execution of like what I've seen for that performance is just like it's honestly not that good. Like they're
my,
not doing it in a way that is exciting or interesting to me at all.
my bigger issue with it is that like they use the beginning like piano part of Shine and then immediately did not use the any of the rest of it, which was my bigger problem, which is just like if you're gonna do that, do something interesting with it. Actually use the song and make a dark version of that song. What it feels like is going to happen, and this is just my theory, I could be wrong, I'm probably going to be wrong, is that they're going to use the beginning part of Shine, go do that like little part where Wusuk is without shoes and the masks and all of that,
Yeah.
and then go straight to Dr. Bebe. If this is the
I
kind
would
of
prefer
challenge,
that honestly for them to
I
just
don't,
use the beginning
yeah.
part of Shine and then go into Dr. Bebe or
But
at
my thing
least
is
a
that at that
different
point, my
song.
question is why?
I
I honestly think it's just a shock factor thing that
I
it's
also
like,
get that it's a
oh,
shock
we're
factor
gonna
thing, but
try
I
to
think you could
do
do more
this.
with it.
Also, I
Yeah.
have a question. In Korea, would it be possible that like people would only know Pentagon from Shine? Like that.
It's
It's
So
possible,
it's like,
possible,
oh,
probably.
yeah.
Shine, I heard that song. Oh, is that that group? And then they go and do something else with it. That's what I was thinking. Also, could be the case where they're
It's
like,
possible.
oh, that
Mhm.
song. Yeah, I heard that a while ago. Yeah, that was super cute. And then they're like, wait, what the heck? And then they do this completely different thing. It's like, oh, we have this talent as
Mhm.
well. Like that.
I mean,
That's
that's possible. And
So
this really wasn't the worst
I have
teaser.
I have
I
other
have more
issues with their song
opinions.
too.
mm-hmm.
Is that
I have more opinions on
yeah.
the second teaser personally.
Yeah. So my thing other problem with this is I don't like the fact that there isn't really much of a performance element at all that we've
Oh
seen
yeah,
here.
no. There's no
Every
dancing.
single other group is you have this like really elaborate sort of dance intro happening, and all we have here is we have Lusuk without shoes like running around. We have
How
all the
much
members walking away, and then they have like very, very minimal
masks?
dancing. And it's really not that exciting at all. And
The
I
only
get
thing I hope is that this is just poorly edited and that
yeah.
there is like they're keeping some kind of secret. They're
Mhm.
keeping some kind of surprise hidden. That this is like the
I know.
beginning.
I really hope that this is like not just the whole performance is going to be in the similar vein because I'm really not a big fan of what they've like shown with it so
The
far.
only the are we finished with the first teaser? Because I want to get into my thoughts
We
on
can
the
talk
second
about
one.
the
Okay.
second teaser because I
The
also have
second
more
teaser
opinions on
was
that one.
the second teaser was them doing a cover of Block B's Very Good,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Very Good,
very good.
and they did more of a rock version.
But it's
My
like Mad Max style.
It's very Mad Max. It's
They have
very
the
Mad
freaking
Max.
goggles and the
Why
gloves.
does Hui have a random guitar that he is not playing
We standing up on like a
on a
metal
fence?
fence with a guitar.
That's amazing. I kind of loved that for how ridiculous it was. My bigger issue is that like I don't like how they changed the dancing. Because the
Oh,
thing with Block B is
it's really bad. The
Block
dancing
B
is so
has very
bad.
minimal dance. Like Block B, Block B's dancing is very similar to like a Big Bang dancing, where they're not a big dancing group. But they carry it off with their charisma. To quote RuPaul's Drag Race, charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent.
Mhm.
And like that is how they do it, and that works for them. The thing
Mhm.
with Pentagon is that Pentagon always has charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent, but they also do a lot more dancing. So they tried to like upgrade the dancing,
But
but
somehow it's
didn't
worse.
and made it
It's
worse.
somehow even worse than the Black Bee
Because I think
choreography.
because I think that the Blocky choreography has some energy and they're not trying to do difficult steps. They're
Mhm.
just trying to have fun and it's more the energy. I think they kind of like lowered the energy by trying to do more difficult looking steps, which I don't think works for the song and doesn't really work for the vibe of Block B and
It
doesn't
does
really work
not.
when you're making that song even more rock and even more like Mad Maxy.
Yeah. My other problem with this is that if they wanted to go make a rock cover of a song, like I feel like this was not the right song for them to pick. Like there were so many other different and better songs they could have picked to make like a rock cover version of that would
And
have
I
had, I
mean, if
think, a
they
lot
still
bigger of an impact value than this like random Block B song would have.
true. Lucas, you have an opinion?
I mean, I'm not the biggest Block B fan, so I don't have that much context to him. But I thought it was just kind of ridiculous and over the top, and just like them. It was I didn't like it just because it was attention grabbing in the wrong way. It was just a lot of I didn't the performance itself I didn't hate. Like it was like fine. I didn't think it was like bad or anything, but I just didn't like you said the vibe was just different than what the like song intended, and you could tell that they were just trying to be like, hey, we're doing this crazy concept. Look at this crazy concept we're doing. Haha, we're weird. Just trying to like attention grab in like kind of not a very genuine way, cuz like that's like if you want to grab my
And I think
attention, actually like do like cool talented things, not just a weird concept. Like
Mhm.
I
this
don't
is
know.
the
That
thing.
was my
I think
opinion
that
on it.
the only reason we're so I think it looks like we're being very, very critical of Pentagon in a
No,
way that we're
we
not
love
going to
them.
be as critical about the rest of these groups. And that's just
Yeah.
because I think that Pentagon has proved that they can do this amazingly. They've proved it individually. They've proved I have an example of something that's completely off the topic, but like
Oh boy.
Hui has proved by
Oh
himself
boy. Here we
Oh
go
with
again.
no!
Oh
I
my
will
god,
bring
here
this
it is
up. I
again.
have
Not
to.
again.
Look, I saw an opportunity. Look, if you want to see someone basically prove by themselves that they could probably win a contest like this, go watch Hui perform Swim Good with Someone from Card.
Oh
There
god.
it
One
is.
of
We
the
we need a
that
card
Number one,
reference every
let's put a
podcast.
freaking card counter on the screen. Number one.
make the card counter.
The card counter.
Um no, but legitimately, it's one of my favorite
Yeah, it's good.
performance. It's
It is
one of my
good.
favorite duos. It's one of my favorite male and female performances. Like that just proves individually they are talented. Members of Pentagon have been on Masked Singer. Members of Pentagon have done so many different things.
Mhm.
Individually, they've done everything together, like Dr.
Mhm.
between all of their different genres that I think that we're just being critical because we know that they can. It's not so much that we're mad, we're just disappointed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's sort of what we're getting at. Like
And
we want
yeah.
them to do well.
And my feelings for Pentagon from what we've seen of these teaser performances so far is that it looks like they're just like throwing concepts at the wall for the sake of it without having thought it through very well. It's like, oh, here's a new concept, let's just like try it. And I feel like there isn't a lot of thought being put into like, well, should we actually, or like, what else can we do that's different? Because they've already done all these concepts before, and now we're just doing weird concepts because we can.
For the sake of it.
Yeah, and
And
I'm
they have run out of other concepts,
yeah.
kind of.
Okay.
I want to see them do, and this is just an idea that just came into my head as we're recording this. I would love to not to do a comparison to SF9 because Pentagon and SF9 have been compared enough already. Ugh, that's what happens when you debut within a week of each other.
Yep, yep.
But I would love to see them do something very similar to what SF9 did with Good Guy, of pure, just suit,
Mhm.
chic, masculine concept because they have yet to do that.
I feel like that's the only place left
That's
that
the
they
only
haven't
place
done
left
yet.
that they can go,
Mhm.
or super aggressive. But I don't think that would
Yeah.
work for them.
I don't think
Super
Pentagon
aggressive.
would yeah.
That's the only two places they can. Or have they done a ballad?
They've done
Go
like
pure
B-side
B-
ballads.
But like go pure B2B and do like a title track power ballad.
They would be a really good group to go straight up power ballad too.
Like those are like the two like don't go super aggressive Pentagon. That was a mistake of me saying that.
Power
But like
ballad. I would
those
rather
like
them go
power
power
ballad or
ballad.
like chic masculine or something like maybe like a 2 p.m. ad toy situation like sexy.
Yeah.
Like that those are the only ways I can see Pentagon going. And I think that
Yeah.
those are concepts that they could try. This weird like we're gonna go super
Mad
crazy.
Max like
Mad
rock
Max.
version of the song. Like we don't need that. Like no one needs
No.
that. Like you didn't need to do that.
But which is why actually this is actually I think a good the group that we compared the uh Queendom equivalent that we compared it to was G Idol.
G-Idol, which
Not
is
because
very
they're both from
fitting.
Cube.
Very
Not
fitting
because
because they're both
Cube.
from Cube.
But not because they're both from Cube. It's just because I think the G Idol in Queendom, and eventually we might do a Queendom retrospective to have our pure thoughts about that show. So we compared Pentagon with G Idol, not because they're both from Cube, but I think that G Idol in that show had this, like they tried different concepts,
and some of them just
and
crashed and
didn't
burned.
work. That fire performance, in my personal opinion, didn't work.
No.
And then what I think is going to end up happening with Pentagon, and then what also happened with G Idol was that they tried these concepts, they didn't work, so then they went back and rested on what they knew. Which for G Idol, unfortunately, since they were a much newer group and only had like 3 comebacks at that point, 3 or 4, I can't remember. They had like a more limited like range of concepts to take from, and they were good. They were not like Lion was a good song, like they were pretty good on that show. And then Pentagon somehow has more concepts to draw from. So what I can see happening with them that they're going to try these things, it's not really going to work, and then they're just going to go back and rest on what they know. Whether that be the Dr. Bebe style, the Shine style, please don't do another Critical Beauty.
Oh god.
I beg of you. Please don't do another Gorilla. Don't do that.
Those are bad songs.
Those are their only bad. Those are their bad songs. Don't do Naughty Boy. If you're gonna go cute, go Shine. Don't go Naughty Boy.
Or
but like,
those are better.
I would love them to go like this again. Do something more like
this
emotional.
Runaway was a good era for
yeah.
them.
So like that's our opinion on Pentagon. We're not mad. We're kind of disappointed.
We're just kind of disappointed.
We want them to do well. They really can do better.
Yes.
We sound like their parents.
We do.
We sound like we love you, babies. At the end of the day, we will love you.
I'm just disappointed.
At the end of the day, babies, we will still continue to love you no matter how you do on this show.
Yeah.
We will continue to love you and support you.
They're not gonna do anything on the show that's gonna make me like unstand Pentagon.
God, no. No, we stand Pentagon and we will continue to stand Pentagon after. We just want better for them.
All right.
Okay.
Card counter number 2. Hung sucks in the Big Titty Committee.
Okay, sure.
Can we make a card counter?
Yes, we have to have.
We're gonna make a card counter.
Card counter.
I can't go an entire thing talking about Pentagon without mentioning Big Titty Committee. So
okay.
Continue.
So next up we have ONF, one of the smaller groups that's on Road to Kingdom. So they debuted in August 2017. They're from WM Entertainment, the same company that had Oh My Girl, which was on the first season of Queendom, and B1A4. They have 6 members. They had 1 former member who left the group because he terminated his contract for quote-unquote personal reasons. I don't know what those were. I didn't look it up. So notable survival show, all of the members of ONF participated in Mix 9. Like they did very well. I think the lowest ranked one was Ethan. I apologize for my pronunciation.
I hate that if that's how you're supposed to pronounce that.
Ishin?
I think Ishin.
Ishin, Ethan. I don't know. I apologize for the pronunciation.
Hate that stage name if it's pronounced Ethan.
Yep. He ranked at 29th, and then Hyojin, the leader of ONF, ranked 2nd. So he was supposed to debut in the final group, but due to YG's blatant incompetence and whatever the hell happened with that group, he did not. Also, MK was a trainee under Starship, and he was on No Mercy, the survival show that made Monsta X. so he could have been a member of Monsta X, but he was not. So their notable songs, On and Off is their debut song. They have Complete, We Must Love, and Why is their most recent. And then for B-sides, they have a lot of very good B-sides, even though they have like a very limited discography. They're very new. Original, which actually has a performance video and genuinely became my favorite song from them. Uh, Difficult and Fly Me to the Moon are probably my favorite of their B-sides.
Is that the actual Fly Me to the Moon? Or is that just...
No, it's not a cover of Fly Me to the Moon. So, what are our just overall thoughts on ONF? I like ONF. I don't love ONF,
I
but I like
suffered
them.
through watching the entirety of Mix 9. I really
Why would you put
enjoyed...
yourself through that?
It was
Is
not
my question.
okay. I watched it for K&K mostly, and then I got sucked into it too much. But anyway, I really enjoyed them all in that show. They all did really well, and I was surprised to hear that, like, because I didn't know that all of them were in one group because they don't use their stage names. They all use their real names on Mix 9. And then it was only like halfway through the show I realized they were all in ONF, and I was really shocked.
Oof.
That sounds so sad.
Mix 9 is a sad show to be emotionally invested in.
I watched some of the performances from Mix 9 and they were very good.
Mix 9 has some of my favorite performances from a survival show ever.
It's a good. It was a good show. I think YG is just. We have our opinions about the company of YG on this podcast that are just gonna slowly seep out, which is that we don't like that company or that man.
Nope.
Especially not that man. He makes me uncomfortable.
He's the worst.
He makes me genuinely uncomfortable to look at. Like, legitimately. Also, if you haven't looked up how he got his wife, look that up.
Oh, yikes.
Look that up, and that will be why that you will never look at that company and that man the same way again.
Okay. YG opinions aside.
YG opinions aside, back to ONF, a group that we all like.
Yeah, back onto ONF.
Don't edit this out. Don't edit this out.
We might.
It's staying in there. But ONF is fine. I don't have a lot of like really strong opinions on them. Like I've like listened to their title tracks and like some of their B-sides now at this point, and they're all fine. There's nothing about them that I had seen previously that like really wanted to make me stan them though, because they've been pretty generic as far as I'm concerned from like what I've seen from them so far.
So I really like ONF song Complete. That is sort of the first ONF song that I really enjoyed, and also I'm just a fan of WM groups in general. Like Oh My Girl is my favorite current girl group. I loved B1A4. Like I genuinely like a lot of WM's groups. But ONF has never really been like I would never been like in my top groups, but I've always checked out their stuff. And since I got tasked with doing all the research about them, I listened to their full discography and they have some good B-sides, but they are kind of that very like generic boy group sound. So I think that, but they're also very young, they're very new. I think they're starting to figure out what works for them. I think We Must Love and Why were like a step in the right direction of them finding what they want to do and what works best for them. But I think this show is actually probably good for a group like ONF. Like, not the smallest group, not the newest group, not like super debut, but like they're just they have a lot of potential. And I think that this show could really bring out that potential. They have experience doing these shows. So I think that they could do well.
Do you think that they're gonna try and win, or do you think they're just gonna try and like enjoy the ride and like try and grow? Because
I think they're definitely gonna try to win.
I think they're gonna try to win. I think that there's sort of like 3 tiers of. I think they're sort of. We're gonna get to groups that I think are not gonna try to win, but there's groups on here that genuinely I think have a chance of winning.
There are some groups that definitely don't.
There's groups that I think do not. But I think ONF is going to try, and like there is like a sliver of a chance because obviously they're not the most popular. They don't have the biggest fan base. And unfortunately, the group with the biggest fan base is probably going to win. That's just the truth.
Yep.
But I think that they're going to try to win, and I think they're going to try to show as much of their potential as they possibly can.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was just curious
I
about.
also like that they used Complete for their first teaser.
Yeah, that is
I'm
good.
very happy. It's their best song.
Yeah. So can you transition and start talking about the teasers?
Sure. I mean, their teasers and the unfortunate, and this is going to be a running theme with some of these teasers, is that their first teaser was a little bit basic. Like, there was nothing super memorable about it. It was good.
It was good.
It was very good and very, very good, but it's not something that I find super, super memorable, especially since it's not a full performance. It's just like a 50-second clip.
Yeah, and ONF is using like 3 different songs of theirs in their first
Yeah.
performance too.
Which I think is probably good. It just gives you a good variety.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite, but it's a good one.
Yeah. Okay. And then
Yeah,
the
I
second.
think it's like not actively bad or anything.
No. We'll get to some actively bad teasers. We already talked about one.
And there's another one. Well, I have to talk about, sadly.
There's one that you have a lot of opinions on that we don't. For ONF's second teaser, it was a short clip of their cover of Shiny's Everybody. And I kind of like what they did. I really
I
enjoyed it. It
really
was a
liked
unique
theirs.
take. This is sort of changing they sort of made it almost like a more horror concept
Mhm.
to everybody and sort of like slowed it down a little bit. And genuinely, I think that's how you change the song. You do something unique, you do something different with it, but that fits you and that still fits the vibe of that song.
I think ONF did exactly what they needed to do to their cover song in order to make it exciting, to make it a really interesting and fun new performance. And I think it's definitely one of the better ones of the second group. And I think they just executed it really well as well.
Yeah, I think they changed the song well enough. I think they changed, and it's different for ONF. It's different from what they've done. It's showing a different side of them that we haven't seen before. I
Hmm.
think that's exactly what it needs to do. I think ONF, what they really need to do in this show is just show as many different concepts and as many different like abilities as possible.
Hmm. Right. Do we want to get into whatever Queendom group that we're
Oh
comparing
yeah. So
ONF
what did
to?
we decide that ONF
So
was?
ONF and one other group on this list we're gonna put them with the same group because there's 7 groups on Road to Kingdom, so there
And there
had
were
to
only
have been
6
an
Queendom
overlap
girls.
there. Yeah, but ONF we are comparing to AOA, and that's just because ONF obviously isn't as senior of a group that AOA was when they did this show, but they sort of came out and wanted to prove to everyone that they were still there and that they were still like a very relevant group and could put on these amazing performances. And I can sort of draw a little bit of a parallel between them and to ONF, who are, rather than being a senior group in the industry that was sort of being forgotten about, they're this sort of newer and upcoming group in the industry, and they're here to tell everyone that this is who we are and we're talented and like this is like what we have to prove to you. And I
But
can definitely see that.
in a weird way, I can also see them as also trying to prove that, hey, we're still here and we're still talented. Because,
Yeah.
like, 2017 was at this point 3 years ago. I
Mm-hmm.
know it was a pretty
Yeah.
long time ago. I know it's been 3 years,
3
but
whole
like,
years.
it's been a while. And like,
Mm-hmm.
you see these groups that have come out after ONF and they've gotten very popular very quickly. And ONF has kind of been like, as more and more groups every year debut,
Mm-hmm.
you're not the shiny new thing that you were, and like almost becoming like the old person in K-pop somehow is becoming like 3 years in
Yeah.
and you're already like seniors who like no one from it's like
Yeah.
what's
ONF
happening.
is ONF is the second oldest group on this show, which I was shocked
Which
to
is
hear because I
insane.
forgot that ONF
It
debuted
was
in
that old.
2017. Yeah.
Like you think of them like I could not remember. I'm like they're that old at this point.
Yeah, I
These sweet
Yeah.
definitely.
young boys
Well,
are been
Mix
doing
Nine,
this for
Mix
3
Nine
years.
really came in and took up a lot of their time and wasted just a
True.
bunch of it.
It wasted a lot of people's time.
Yeah.
So many people's time. So like I think that they have a very good opportunity to maybe not win this show, but to prove that they are here, they are
Hmm.
talented, and to remind people that they are good.
Hmm. Definitely.
Okay. Do you want to move on?
Okay.
We're ready to move on to
Our
our
next group.
next another group that we love.
Yes,
We love all these groups. We love
do.
all of
We
them.
really do.
Mhm.
So
Well,
the next group. Oh, okay.
We'll get there.
I know. We'll get there. We'll get
okay,
there.
okay.
I love that we're making this so cryptic, like we're talking about Lord Voldemort.
It's fine. Well, it's fine. All right. So the next group we're going to be talking about is Golden Child. And disclaimer: Golden Child is like a top 5 K-pop group for me. I absolutely love them. I've been a fan of them since pre-debut. So Golden Child debuted in August of 2017 under Willem Entertainment. The other groups from their company are Infinite, Lovelies, and Rocket Punch. And they have currently 10 members. They used to have 11, but Jae-suk, who debuted with them, had to leave shortly after their debut due to personal reasons. They have not done any survival shows, thankfully. They didn't have to suffer through any survival shows before this point, but they did have a pre-debut variety show called Olympic. They also have a golden movie. It's a short film, essentially, that was based around sort of their concept and music video for their second comeback, It's You. It's very cute. It's like a little mini K-drama. I would definitely recommend you watch it. It's so adorable. They also have a very short web drama called Crazy Petty Housemate, which is also very funny. It's essentially just all the members living in a house together as college students. That's also really a fun, cute web drama that they've done. And then to go through some of their notable title tracks, they debuted with Dam Dottie, and then some of their other ones include Genie and Wanna Be and Without You, with them making a really like 180 in terms of their concept with Wanna Be and Without You, which are their 2 most recent comebacks. And then to go through some of their notable members, probably the most notable member is Daeil, who is the younger brother of Sungil from Infinite. And then Bowman, who is currently a host at Music Bank and has also done a decent amount of acting. He's been in 18 Season 2 and Melting Me Softly recently. Also, I think this is all the members, but Donghyun, Daeil, Jangjun, Tag, and Jae-suk before he left were also all backup dancers for Infinite before they debuted. And then this is a real strange one, but Y and Daeil pre-debut were in the K-drama My Lovely Girl as members of the band Infinite Power with Elle and Hoya, who are from Infinite. And
That
that's
is
just
the most random fact.
a really bizarre crossover that happens, but it exists
Look,
out there
no
in the
offense,
world.
but if there's ever like like that is the most random K-pop fact I've ever heard.
Oh my
It's
god,
amazing. I love it.
It's the most random thing that has ever happened. But anyway,
Also, the fact that it's called Infinite Power and it's a
right?
drama starring Elle.
Elle and
Come
Hoya,
on.
yeah.
Back when K-dramas used to be even more ridiculous than they are now. Y'all think?
Yep.
Oh god.
Oh my god. So some of the B-sides that I really enjoy for them are I'm Falling, Crush, Lady, Compass, and C. And Golden Child is actually one of the 2 groups on this show who have already had a first win on a music show, and Golden Child got their first win from Wanna Be on M Countdown back in December of 2019.
Yeah, Lady's my favorite Golden Child song. I love that song.
It's a very good song.
So cute.
It's so cute.
I wanted to put that out there for some reason.
Golden Child, like some of the other groups on this show, have done both the cute concept, that's what they debuted with, and they were with that concept for about a year and a half to 2 years after debut. And then they made a switch last year to going like the more intense, like really like I don't even know what it's just like really intense, more serious, like darker, masculine concept. Yeah, with Wanna Be and Without You, and I think that's the concept they're probably gonna go for more moving forward.
Honestly, I think that Wanna Be is one of my of songs that just are like a big tonal shift. Wanna Be is so tight, so perfectly done that I think it's so planned, and it was planned so well. Like everything about it it happened at the perfect time. Like it just was the perfect transition for them, and it worked so smoothly.
It worked really well. Yeah.
And then Without You is amazing follow-up to that.
Can I gush about Wanna Be for just a couple seconds?
Yes.
Sure.
One of my favorite things in K-pop are songs that make you vibe and dance without a hard chorus. And I think that frickin' Wanna Be is the frickin' poster child. because it's one of those songs that is like, yo, we're gonna make you groove and we're gonna make you vibe, but we're gonna do it on our terms. Like, you're gonna vibe when we tell you to vibe because we are making the song, not because we're gonna go, oh, now big drop, oh, don't everyone dance. It's like a, hey, you know what? Let's build up a little bit. Now let's groove. Now let's kind of swing a little bit, and then it's like, let's get a little bit more intense. It just perfectly plays with like space and like the sounds they use, and just like everything just perfectly like encapsulates what I love about like K-pop and the vibe that they give off. So hearing Wannabe like made me stand Golden Child instantly. Like, once I knew that they like made a song like that, I was like, okay, this is definitely a group I need to listen all of. So,
And like, not to discount their cute concept, because Dom
no,
Dottie's
definitely,
a
yeah,
full ass
exactly.
bop.
I love their cute stuff too.
Their
Yeah,
cute stuff is
Dom
also
Dottie,
amazing, but just my personal
Dom
preference.
Dottie, and them in those adorable little baseball uniforms is
Oh
a
my God.
whole ass bop.
I wrote a full ass like musical of Golden Child and their songs. Like,
Oh,
that is how much I like their discography. Like, it is amazing. I love them so much.
Yes.
that'd be amazing.
Mhm.
So like, I think that other than Pentagon, this might be the group that we're like second most excited for, or
Mhm.
on par with Pentagon, the
Yeah,
group that we're most excited for to
probably
see
on
what they're
par.
gonna do on Kingdom, and also the
Yes.
group that another group that we have very high expectations,
Oh,
and
definitely.
unfortunately, they're meeting and possibly exceeding those expectations.
Oh,
Oh my
yes.
god, their
They
teasers are
are doing
amazing.
so good.
They're
So
doing everything correct.
So in their first teaser, I can't even tell you what song they're covering because I don't know.
I
I don't
have
know
no
what
idea.
song it's
I
supposed to
hope
be
I
because it
hope
sounds
somehow it's Dom Dottie.
it would be so funny.
Somehow. Flip the switch. Make a dark Dom Dottie.
Yeah. Oh man. It's because whatever their intro song is sounds nothing like any of the other songs. So I would guess that it probably would be "Wanna Be" or "Without You." It's
The
probably "Wanna Be" if
outfits
I had
look
to
like
put
they
it.
fit.
Yeah. If I had to guess, I'd put my money on "Wanna Be."
But I think the
Right.
dancing
Right.
stands out a lot. And then
Mhm.
but what really killed it, what really kills it is that second teaser.
Yes. So the second teaser, they are covering TOP by Shinhwa, and it is absolutely amazing. So first of all,
It's so
the original choreography for that song is like it's barely a choreography because it was back in the
it's
90s
back
or the
in like
early
the yeah.
2000s when we
It's
didn't have
first gen K-pop when we
choreography.
don't
Yeah.
know when they didn't know how to dance. We
Dawn
didn't know what
of
dancing was. It was like early 2000s, like the Backstreet Boys
the
school of dance.
actual dawn
Mhm.
of time. There were dinosaurs around roaming the earth, and TOP was just sitting there making
Some
music.
of the members of Golden Child were not born when this song came
Oh
out.
yeah, they were not.
Want to point that out.
Yep. But is the choreo that they made up for it is just so precise and like so exact, and they are incredibly in sync, which I expect from them anyway because that's how Willem groups are usually that's how their choreographies are. They're very just precise and they're very in sync as a group.
And
And then Jangjun comes out with that rap, and Jangjun has so much stage presence. I think he's like one of my favorite idols with like a ton of stage presence. Like he absolutely kills that rap.
And the other thing I want to point out is that like I love a choreography that does not need to like I love stunts. I adore stunts. And they did a lot of they did some stunts like with lifting and all that in
Mm-hmm.
their first. I love a choreography that can blow you away without like they're not doing amazing flips. I love a good
Mm-hmm.
amazing flip, but like I
Yeah.
love a good choreography that's like so clean, precise, and
Mm-hmm.
tight without needing to like resort to a flip.
Right. And
And it's just this is just perfect to me.
it's so good.
Also, I love these chicken feather jackets.
Hell
This
yeah.
chicken jackets. Yeah.
These
Hell yeah.
chicken these
They're
chicken
in
jackets are incredible.
reading the comments in that video, or half of them are literally just everyone comparing them to chickens. Like they look
It
like
works.
chickens. Yeah.
It works. I love that. I love the boots. I love the slate. I love how like the way the light hits it kind of blows them for certain parts of it,
Yeah.
and then they just
Mm-hmm.
come back into focus. I'm just like it's amazing.
Also,
because it's so white.
yeah, another
So
thing
white.
I want to say about it is that I really like that it has backup dancers, but it's not overly dependent on the backup dancers.
I mean, the backup dancers don't come in at least till like
Yeah.
halfway through.
And that's something that I think that it's a personal pet peeve of mine is when a dance can't stand alone on itself without the backup dancers. And
Oh yeah.
with this, I think it's a really good use of the backup dancers because it's adding to the performance, but it's not at all taking away from what the members are doing, and it's
Yeah.
not they're not holding up the entire performance.
The backup dancers should be support. They should not be the focal point of your
The
dance.
performance, yeah.
They should not be the performance.
Mm-hmm.
Lucas, did you want to talk about the teasers?
No, I like them both. They're really good. Yeah, they were good. You kind of mentioned everything I wanted to mention. But yeah, as someone who didn't have much, I don't really know anything about them pre wannabe. So most of my like the concept that I've heard is their like post concept. I've obviously retrospectively gone back and listened to like their old stuff, but yeah, I'm glad that they're going in this direction, and their teasers show nothing but perfection from them, as what we would expect, which is kind of scary in a are they going to be able to keep this up for like an entire season of like a show, and like how where they can progress.
I have faith.
I do have
Yeah,
faith,
I have faith.
but it's just kind of like you set the bar in
God damn it, they
freaking-
have charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent.
Yes, they do. Their bar is set on top of Mount Everest.
And yes, will I continue to use RuPaul's Drag Race term
Hell yeah.
describe K-pop groups? Yes.
Yeah, they've put
I mean, it works.
they've put their freaking bar on top of Mount
Look,
Everest, so
I
they
will
need to get
not
on a
mention
plane soon.
RuPaul's Drag Race. I will just keep making the references, and whoever gets it, gets it.
I'm proud of
If
you.
I can build up a small like K-pop / RuPaul's Drag Race contingent of our fandom, hell yeah.
We're gonna really just like get into the really
The
niche
niche?
markets on this podcast.
Yeah.
The best jokes.
That's what we're about.
The best jokes are the jokes that only two people understand. If only two
Yeah.
people get it, it's an amazing joke.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the epitome of what this podcast is.
This is the podcast for two people out there.
Two people.
And we love you.
Once
love you,
find these
Bridget.
two
We love
people,
you.
Yeah.
You just
Your names are Bridget and Denise.
Denise.
I hate Denise.
Fine. Their names are Bridget and Kevin.
Oh,
Kevin.
It's Bridget
Okay,
and
Kevin.
Kevin.
I
We're
like
doing
Kevin. I like Kevin.
Well, we're gonna put that out to the world in the hopes that Kevin from The Boys is gonna find our podcast and love
Kevin,
it.
I love
Kevin, please.
Kevin,
We
I
have to
love you.
tag Kevin.
At
We have to
Kevin
tag
of
the
the boys.
It's
Look,
because Kevin,
no
or
offense.
we get you kiss Kevin.
Somehow we get you kiss Kevin by
Oh,
accident.
Kevin.
What? I feel like Kevin would be someone. Kevin from The Boys would be someone to end up watching them. We're like, hi, Kevin.
I don't put it past you kiss Kevin either. Like
I don't put it past you. We're not talking about you kiss Kevin.
we are talking about you kiss Kevin.
Get
But
out of
anyway.
here, you kiss.
This was a
Kevin.
weird tangent. Let's not talk
to
about
get back on track. So to now talk about the group from Queendom that we are comparing Golden Child is
to continue to have faith that they're gonna blow
Yes.
everyone out of the water
so we're comparing them to Oh My Girl, and
because
I-
Oh My Girl killed it.
I think that's fair for Golden Child because I honestly, besides like us, I don't know a lot of people who are like really, really into Golden Child. So which is interesting because their popularity in Korea is okay, but internationally, I just don't see a lot of like Golden Child fans pretty
Discussion.
often. Yeah, or ever even really talked about. But they are still a lesser known group. Like they're not one of the most popular groups on here, and they are doing really well. And I think what they're doing well is that they are doing concepts that are like slightly different than what we would see from them or what we have already seen from them in their title tracks, but they're doing things that are still very much like in their wheelhouse that they can pull off really well. And I think that's exactly what Oh My Girl was doing on Queendom, is that they were staying in their wheelhouse of like songs and concepts that they could pull off, but they were still different than what we had normally seen
And
from
just
them.
doing them to perfect, like they were doing different, but doing them to perfect.
Yeah,
Showing
like
off
very
the best
well.
parts of everything, changing things that could be changed that you could improve. Because the
Right.
worst thing you can do on one of these shows is make a change that is going to make the song worse. Because at that point, that just that's a very like that makes it look bad. That makes the song look bad. That's the
Mhm.
worst thing you can do. Only change. It's almost better to do a boring performance than we're of the mindset that it's better to be
Yeah.
boring than actively bad and
Yes.
actively make choices that make it worse.
Definitely. So, this is going to be the end of part 1 of our Road to Kingdom preview. We're gonna be talking about the other 4 groups, in Road to Kingdom in our next episode. So, we will see you in part 2. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.